Welcome back to the channel. This week we're taking a look at the 2025 Mazda MX-5 35th anniversary edition. This is a very special trim for Mazda, celebrating their 35th year of course, the MX-5, or otherwise known as the Mazda Miata. What you see here is exactly what you get if you want this special edition trim of the MX-5. It's a very limited run, only a couple hundred available in Canada, so I am very honored to be driving one right here. It is such a great vehicle. I showed you the hardtop last year and I fell in love with it. It was my first ever experience with a Roadster such as this one, with a legendary Roadster such as this one. It has really impressed me and still continues to impress me here in 2025. I have loved my time with it. It's been such a fun Roadster to drive, and that is the essence of the MX-5. I don't need to break the speed limit. I don't need to be obnoxiously loud. All I need is to take the top off. It handles exceptionally well. The manual transmission is the way to go, and of course, I've got it on this trim of the MX-5, so it's just so engaging and so much fun, and I just want to show you it. So I'm going to show you the exterior, the interior, and of course a POV drive. Before we get into it, if you see the hype button, just go ahead and click it for me. It does so much for the channel. Or if you don't have any hypes left, it's a new YouTube feature, just leave a like or subscribe. That really helps me. I don't want your money and I don't need your money. I just need more people to see these videos so I can bring you more cars. With that being said, let's get into it. So once we pop the hood of this Mazda MX-5 for the 35th anniversary edition, there is zero changes. And trust me when I tell you that that is zero problem, because 181 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque from a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine is perfectly fine. I am perfectly okay with these horsepower numbers. It is so small and so nimble, and then you pair it with that 6-speed automatic transmission and the thing just feels like it's ripping even when you're doing the speed limit. It is such a wonderful thing. I could go or feel like I'm speeding and doing all these things and not get in trouble at all with this Mazda MX-5. I can have a good time legally, which is so rare to say. And anyways, it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. Now, this Mazda MX-5 is also rear-wheel drive, and it's got a 50-50 weight distribution. In terms of price point for the 35th edition, it's going to run you $47,000 Canadian, which is actually not that bad. I was expecting the 35th edition to kind of, you know, Mazda should maybe or would have maybe charged you a whole bunch more, but in this case, no, it's actually pretty reasonable. All right, so next up is the exterior for our Mazda MX-5 35th anniversary. So it's the artisan red metallic paint color. This is the special paint color that it comes in. I don't know, I might be colorblind. It looks everything else but red to me, but that is the name they're giving it. In some light, it does look kind of like a really dark red, like a burgundy, sometimes more brown. It's a very cool paint color in the fact that it changes as you kind of go around the vehicle. So I do appreciate it for that. I really like this front end. This new generation of Mazdas, or the MX-5s, looks really nice. I love the daytime running LEDs, and it's just very aggressive looking. Even in, you know, not its max sport trim, it still looks really ready to go, and I just love this front end. It looks really good. Next, we're gonna take a look at the side profile. So you can see I don't have those performance brakes that I showed you last year with the hard top. This year I've got the soft top configuration, but no matter, it still looks really good actually with the silver. It's a very small vehicle, and you really get a sense of that when you look at it from the side profile, but very cool. And then of course this special edition badge, you do have something to commemorate that. You have the 35th anniversary, and you can see that it says number 466. So that is the number of MX-5 that I've got, and I think they only made about 850 if I'm not mistaken. So it's very cool to be driving one of a limited run. Very cool. And you can see that I like this contrast here. This color with this rooftop looks very cool. I've had a couple people this week tell me it's the old man spec, and kind of makes sense. It does look like somebody a little older would appreciate this a little bit more, but honestly, being 29 years old, I still like this. It still looks pretty cool, and when the top is down, it looks very cool. So onto the back, you can see that it's the same MX-5 you know and love. It's got the Sky Active G, the MX-5 badge right there, classic tail lights right here as well that look very, very good. And then we also have an exhaust right here. No complaints. It's not extremely loud, but it doesn't need to be. That's not what you buy the MX-5 for. And I do have a little bit of storage in here. There's a button right down here. You got to kind of hold it. There's a little bit of trunk space, not too much, nothing too crazy here. It can fit my cleaning products, my sweater, whatever you need. Kind of extra little things in here you can definitely fit, and a small grocery run if you want to do that. But overall, the Mazda MX-5 is a really good looking roadster. Top up, top down, you name it. It looks really, really good. I'll include some B-roll shots as I'm talking about it here with the top down, as I'm kind of looking at it right now, has the top up. So yeah, top down looks just as good. You see less of that tan, but honestly, the interior really stands out with this color, and I just really, really enjoyed my time with it. I've enjoyed looking at it. It's gotten a lot of looks, gotten a lot of points, as the MX-5 does and should. These new generation just look really good. But let me know what you think. What do you think about the paint color? Do you see the red in it? Maybe it does look a little bit more red on camera, but let me know. I want to know what you think in the comments. But let's hop on the inside. All right, so we don't have a back seat, so let's hop straight up into the front seat for the Mazda MX-5. I've got the top down here, and it looks really, really cool. So this artisan red metallic continues on the inside. You've got this really nice interior color as well. I do like the door controls. MX-5 carpets right there. The 35th anniversary badge is going to be right there, along with the sound system in the headrest, the Bose sound system in the headrest. Let's actually hop in. It is very, very low, and I am 5'11". I've got the seat all the way back, and got just about enough room for myself, I'll say. 3 pedals, you can see that right there. Standard Mazda steering wheel, very nice feeling steering wheel, super pointed, super fun to drive. Physical controls, exactly how it should be for your cruise control stuff and your infotainment or your media controls. On the left-hand side, I have a sport mode button, which basically just turns the traction control off, or sort of off, and then you can turn it totally off. Automatic high beams and the parking sensors button right there. I also have, you can see I've got 3 gauges. So the only one that's analog is this one over here for the trip computer. In the middle, I have the most important one when you're driving a manual transmission is, you can see your revs right there. And all the way on the right, I can see my speed. Again, analog, very, very cool. And then this little screen down here will also show me what gear I'm in, which if you're a beginner manual driver, that's very helpful. Now, I also have the digital infotainment display here. Very simple, very Mazda-like. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is available. You do have navigation here as well, but there's nothing really hidden here. You just go into the settings and you can kind of get different sort of settings, like sound settings is probably the one that I'll use the most, but that's basically it. There isn't much to play with here, which is a good thing. You don't really want to be messing around because it's all about the driving experience. You just want the sound system, bang, I plug my phone in, okay, it works, let's on to the next thing. I've got big dials for, the direction of the HVAC. Basically all of the HVAC controls are going to be right here, so very easy to understand and use them. Vents are right here. There's a vent over there as well. I do have heated seats, no ventilation. Would have been nice to see it, but not a huge deal. 2 USB-C ports. Again, the 6-speed manual transmission shifter right here. It is to go into reverse, it is a push and a slide, so you're never accidentally going to go into reverse when you're trying to get into first gear, which is good. I've got these controls right down here where I'm going to control my infotainment display. It does become a touch screen when you put it in CarPlay, but you got a bunch of quick access stuff right there. I got a tiny bit of storage, good enough for my wallet, maybe a few papers, cup holders, which I believe you can put another one here if you want to. And then I've also got a little bit of storage there. To pop the hood up, you just pull this thing up right here, and then it's really, really quick. It's honestly quicker to do it with the soft top than it is with the hard top. The hard top's obviously automatic, maybe a little bit easier, I guess, but this is just quicker. Like I can just yank it out of here, put it right on, and call it a day, which is really, really nice. But yeah, overall, I really, really have enjoyed just using this interior. It's small, it's not practical, but that's not the point. You buy a Miata because you want to drive in weather that doesn't exactly look like this, but maybe a little bit better, but it's still warm, right? We're around 20 degrees or 20 Celsius out here, and that's good enough. That is good enough to get the job done in this guy right here. So I am going to go have a great time And so let me show you what all that driving experience is all about. I am going to strap the GoPro to my forehead. We'll take the top down, we'll do it with the top up, and I'll be right back. All right, so welcome back on the road. It is a little bit of a cool day, but let's open this roof because it wouldn't be a proper MX-5 without doing that. So there we go, close the thing there. You can see how quick that was as well to do. Very easy. So look, the Mazda MX-5 is really not about going fast. It's more about the experience of the drive, right? So like, it's like fall weather, it's cool outside, probably not ideal. Like if the sun was out, it'd probably be a lot better for the top down, but still you can kind of get the idea. I just got unlucky this week with the weather a little bit. It's been kind of dark, but still like the handling is so good. So like on a back road like this, where it's like you don't need to go fast, you don't need all this speed and all this, you know, crazy noise and sound. That's not really what the MX-5 is about. It's this right here, the steering, the seamless weight transfer, you know, and honestly, like, I'm not even going that fast, and I feel like I'm going a lot faster because I'm so low to the floor. It's such a tiny vehicle, and it's so light, so nimble, that like I love the way it transfers its weight. I love the way that like I could just downshift like that. I'm not even good at it because it doesn't have rev match downshift, but it doesn't matter because it's like it's pretty easy to get a grasp on it. And you can see like I just can hug corners and go around and do everything I need to do here. So it's really the beauty of just driving this thing through a little scenic route like this and just taking it all in. And like it still feels like a sporty roadster. It still feels fast, and that's awesome. And the manual transmission, I'll say, is a little unforgiving because there's no rev match downshift. There's really no safety net. You really do have to have some sense of what you're doing to really get the most out of this thing, I find. But I mean, it doesn't take that long to get used to it because the clutch feedback and like just the short throws of this transmission is really, really good. So like, I'm not good at rev match downshifting. I try to do it just to feel like a race car driver, but you don't really have to do that. It's always awkward when people hear me talk. But look at this. Corner, can't really see the other way, so we don't speed too much, but just enough, like just enough to have a little bit of fun. And I have like a track mode. I could kind of turn some of the traction and control off, but honestly, I haven't even felt the need to do that. Like it's felt plenty fast with me just ripping around the way it is. Whee. Oh, it's so much fun. It is freezing though, so I do have like a heated seat here that I could turn on, which is very nice. And yeah, like just to experience, I think the MX-5, I've been telling people all week, it's more of an experience, and it's more of very much like a pleasure vehicle. Like you really don't need much. You don't need much in terms of sound. You just need this manual transmission, the open air, and maybe a warmer day. But even then, it's still a lot of fun to whip this thing around. All right, so out on the main road now. Let's give it some beams here. Not a lot of horsepower, but as you'll see very quickly, you don't really need that much. So check this out. And just like that, I feel like I'm going way faster than I need to be, and I'm only in third gear. But like, you could go up through the gears a lot quicker if you wanted to, and just enjoy it a little bit more. I'm gonna put the windows up here just so that you could hear me properly. But yeah, so like you could go into it a little bit more and like go through your own gears, and like the sense of speed is just incredible. I just feel like I'm absolutely flying all the time, and that is the essence of the MX-5. I like the visibility too. I am a smaller vehicle, so I do have like blind spots over, particularly my left-hand blind spot's probably the weakest, because the right-hand one, you can kind of just reach over your shoulder and you can see pretty much everything behind you through the rear window. But like, you're so small too that you kind of sometimes, people aren't aware of where you are. So when you are ripping around on the public roads, people don't always see you coming because you are a little on the small side. I've noticed that with the Quebec drivers, like especially the semi-trucks, they just simply like, they lose me. They don't see me at all. So it is something to be careful about. But honestly, the MX-5 isn't a vehicle I really like do a lot of highway driving with. It's more like these back roads, you know, where it's like, especially in the fall where it's very nice out, you know, you don't really want to be on a highway. It's kind of you know, you're just going to stick it in 6th gear and roll it all the way. It's not like a highway vehicle, although you can road trip it if you want to. But if I was to road trip this thing, I'm taking the long way. I'm taking the twisty road, back road way, because that is honestly way more fun. Like the way that I could accelerate out of corners, and the control that I feel, I could put this MX-5 exactly where I want it on the road all of the time. Like it's just a drive connection, a road connection that is like no other. You really don't get this in many other vehicles. That, you know, the MX-5 is just elite at it, and probably because it's so small, so light, and so nimble, like the only thing you can feel is the connection. I mean, yeah, you get bounced around quite a bit, you get bumped around, bumped off, all these things. Like, you know, you're gonna feel the ride, but that's also kind of part of it. Like, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into here. And a lot of people that own these MX-5s don't only own an MX-5, they have other vehicles to do like longer trips or grocery runs and stuff like that. The MX-5 is very much like a accessory piece to your garage that's just really, really fun to drive. In the summer, I should add. I don't recommend driving this thing in the winter. I wouldn't even try it, and I would feel extremely unsafe doing it in any amount of snow. So, yeah, not going to do that in the winter. I don't even think Mazda will keep this on the press fleet for the winter. But yeah, what a scenic time to drive it. I took it at this time on purpose because I could show you, you know, the nice little back road that we've got here. Montreal's not always a city place, right? Like, I am on the island of Montreal currently, but look, this is a very nice place to be driving. Although, you know, you are a little bit restricted by the speed limit, which again adds to why I like the MX-5 so much, is because I can do like a little bit over, say like, you know, the allowed legal limit here in Quebec is 10 over the speed limit. You can usually get away with that. I can do that in the MX-5 and feel like I'm going 20, 30 over. It's got such a great sense of speed to it. I just like that so much, and it makes it such a pleasure to drive. And that's why you don't see a lot of complaints online about the horsepower number. Like, nobody's complaining about it because you get into it and you start rolling through the gears. I think even if you have an automatic, you still feel like you're flying through traffic here. So, like, you know, it doesn't matter. Let's see, I can rev match, downshift myself. I'm really not good at it at all. Like, I'm only smooth like half of the time. But again, if I was to own this full time and drive this all summer, all weather, stuff like that, I think I'd probably be an expert. I'd probably even get good at some heel toe and stuff like that to get this thing like really up to speed and sporty. I think that I haven't really touched the surface of what kind of fun you can actually have in the MX-5, just because A, I'm on a public road, and B, I don't drive manual that often, so I don't know like how to heel toe. I don't have like that much repeat practice. Obviously, the more I do this stuff, the more it'll come, so I'll get there, but I really don't think I scratched the surface here on the public road at all. So that's going to do it for me. I want to know what you think, though. What do you think of the Mazda MX-5? It is a great accessory to your garage, a really, really fun roadster. It doesn't need a lot of horsepower. It doesn't need a lot of torque. It doesn't need a huge engine or a huge exhaust sound. It really is about the experience and the connection that you get to the road when you hop into one of these. Drop the top on a nice day, or even on a cooler day, put your heated seat on and just enjoy driving. That is something that I feel like we can't really do nowadays with all these new modern cars. This is very much old school. This is very much what it should be. Connection, pure old school driving, just straight up manual. I love it. It's so much fun. But of course, let me know what you think of this spec. What do you think of this special 35th anniversary edition? I want to hear all your thoughts on the MX-5. Do you own one? Did you order one? Tell me why. Tell me absolutely everything. Tell me why you love it, and tell me why you hate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and if you see that hype button appear, please, please, please click it for me. It does so much for me in the algorithm. Also, if you could click the like button, that also does. I don't want your money. I don't want anything like that. You watching to this point is enough already, but if you can do me one more favor, if you've made it this far, like and leave a little bit of hype if you can. That would be so much appreciated. With that being said, I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.